have an approval of the agenda.
I think we've got a few things that we need to add to the new business agenda, Sean.
Okay. What would you like to add?
First of all, we need to add the support for the wrestlers.
Okay.
David Haney's put before us.
Okay, where do you want to put that at?
Do we want to put all that after number 6, or
Yeah.
is that good?
Okay.
Then we also need to add, the school has asked for all businesses in town to show their support for the homecoming parade. And I would like to see if we could vote on setting a budget for the town hall to be decorated during the day when the parade comes through. And then we've got to add Revved Up with John Caldwell. Some updates from them. And then we need to add our personnel policy in there too.
Okay.
So I don't know where you want to put those, but
Okay. Is that, so we're going to add that in addition to the comp time policy?
yes.
Okay. All right. So we want to put that as 10?
Yeah, that's fine, whatever,
All right.
however you want to do it. I'm sorry.
I got 11, wrestling, school for homecoming, budget for town hall decorations was revved up by John Caldwell, and then the personnel policy.
And then should we also add the addition for, in a past meeting, we had voted to shut down a street, and then the attorney had said that it needed to be looked at, and then it never was brought back up again.
So that was for them.
Yes, it was. And that needs to have some kind of an address today.
Okay. All right. All right. Do you second, Kenneth?
I'll second that.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes?
No, I have not. Give me
Okay.
just a second.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the September the 5th town hall minutes.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right. This time I'll open up to the floor to public comments. We have him back for public comment. We have a motion to close public comment.
Make a motion to close public comment.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, next up, under old business, Amanda, would you like to talk about the
have an update. Linda and I have done a couple of webinars we did one with Sturgis, and then we did one with Paystar, and we were set up to do another demo with Edmonds, and I would really like to see what they've got. They can cover all of our finance, take payments online. They'll do everything all in one bundle.
Yeah.
So I would like to wait and
Yeah.
see their demo before we make any decisions to go with somebody that's got a kickoff to Southern Software.
Yeah. Seemed like a lot better system because it would take the place of Southern Software and Invoice
I would
Cloud.
have one whole system and not having to send off my bills to another company.
Yeah.
Would all be in one place.
They were coming to do a demo, but they were sick unfortunately and had to cancel.
They had COVID, so.
Is that the one that's through the state? Okay.
Yeah.
And
I would
I've
prefer to
talked
do
with them
that.
twice, they come in the office, and I think it would be a better fit for us. But I want to see the whole layout before
Yeah.
make a decision.
Yeah, it seemed like a good system. They come and talk to us about 30 minutes to an hour and it
Yeah.
seemed,
Yeah, and they want to get more in depth with it and show us how the system would actually work. And I would have my pay lines and bills and everything all in one place.
Good deal.
yeah,
So we're gonna wait just a little bit.
okay. We'll just table that to the
It's
next
chaos, but I want to get the right system in here, and so we won't have to deal with this anymore.
Can I ask one question? Would it be better for us to get her a new computer before we take over the new
Absolutely,
system?
absolutely. It is critical.
Absolutely, that's bad.
A lot of things, she's still working off of Windows 7, so there's a lot of things that she can't open up, like in the state reports, and we have to go to another website and everything with that. So she definitely needs a new computer.
It's
So we
taking
get
a
the
lot
new
of time.
computer now, that will put her at least
Ahead of the
That
game.
they
when-
can take.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's taking a lot of time because, when it's so slow, a lot of times, like, they're just sitting there waiting on me and I'm waiting on the computer.
Mhm.
Sometimes 15, 20, 30 minutes, but because it's just doing a little circle, not doing anything. You have to just wait.
maybe we need to add that to the agenda, don't you? Purchase a new computer for her, or have we already got that in our budget to purchase? I know we all discussed all
We've
that.
talked about it before, but I don't know.
Okay, we'll look into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to new business. I just want to thank the Appalachian Regional Commission for awarding us this $2,199,950 grant to improve our water system and new meters. Next up, we got the finance officer update.
Still been working on paying some of the past due bills. There's some that I just discovered like 2 days ago through some of the other email that went back to June. That was past due. That took me hours to get all that printed off and sorted and made sure every bill was in there so I could then pay it. Also, we have purchased the new phones for the maintenance man, Lamar. They said they seem to be working good with AT&T, which put them on a better network. It's kind of like the emergency personnel. So when the average person's phones wouldn't work, they're supposed to have better signal. Also, all of the reports that was due that I'm aware of are all current and up to date. Still been working on the comp and retro pay, which I have up current, but I wanted to double check and make sure that it was all correct, 100%. I think it is. Let's see, what else? Oh, I've still been having to send letters to vendors, things, trying to get everything updated. That's been an issue. There again, the computer been so slow. Sometimes it takes forever. I have been checking it in. It's been a couple weeks ago about taking some of the classes. Hopefully I can get scheduled in on some of those. They're supposed to be sending me emails letting me know when the next ones are available. I was gonna ask about the decorations and all that. And I think Tim was supposed to show up today, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But he hasn't updated his work.
I'd like to hear from Michael also, because he's the one that's trying to get previous audit and all that information ready. And I just felt like everybody needed to be updated on that too.
So I wanted to just cover four main points. The delinquent audit, the 2021, 2022 audit. I've given some specifics here, but the short version is we've provided everything to the auditor that they requested. The ball's in their court now. The problem is that they have been booked with current work and they're trying to fit us in between because they've been asking for this stuff for over a year at this point. So we've gotten them everything that they've requested. They come back with some clarification, but I'm still available to answer any questions they have regarding that. The projected completion date for that audit is 1/31 of next year. The 2022-2023 fiscal year, when I came in, none of the accounts have been reconciled, and I have a list here. 8 of the 10 accounts have been, all data entry has been entered, all accounts have been reconciled, and has been completely finished. The only 2 that are left are the 2 biggest ones, which are the water and sewer fund and the general operating fund. I expect, if I can find some records today, that the general fund should be finished by the end of this week or early next week. There's just some deposit records I can't find electronic copies of, so I'm looking for those physical copies. And then the water and sewer fund will be my next hurdle there. Regarding the current work, as you've heard, Linda's taking care of all of the ongoing work. As I'm finishing up delinquent accounts, I'm giving her my notes on what I've done so that the current work can go easier. And then at the bottom there's just a few miscellaneous considerations. I wanted to point out one thing that I observed when I was looking at the accounts in advance of this meeting. Every single one of our cash accounts, all 10 of them, had higher balances at the end of the year than they did at the beginning. Well, that's not a good accounting metrics because, as we know from Linda, there are certain bills that haven't been paid and things like that, or there are checks that might not have been cleared. But it is a good indicator that all of our cash balances are up in 23 compared to 22. Just to keep y'all informed, I know some of you are aware I'll be out for surgery on the 24th. That's 3 weeks from yesterday. I really am not sure to what extent I'll be available, but I will be as available as I can. My cell phone, those of you who have it, can call or text me. And if the auditors reach out, if I can't respond, I'll reach out to Linda to make sure that any requests from the auditors are taken care of timely. So that pretty much covers. I did have a little bit more detail on the paper, but y'all can read that at your leisure. Do you have any questions for me?
I just wonder about our grants. Are
Okay.
all of our grant deadlines cleared? Have we got them all done that needed to be cleared? I know there was certain times when there's so many different initials of all of them. They had these deadlines. Did we meet those?
Linda may be able to speak to them better than I can.
As far as I can remember, I think so. I'm not 100% certain. I'll have to go back and look.
The CPDG grant, the next phase was to get the easements, and there was a request for an extension on
And
that.
I think that's coming up. Is it not, Sean? the deadline for that's coming up like
We
real
talked
soon.
about the easements last meeting.
Well, then the easements have been worked on.
Okay. Okay.
That's the main
Thank you.
thing, is the easement,
Mhm.
was the holdup on that.
On that one, yeah.
Well, and one of the problems is with the CDBG grant, they frozen the funds because of the delinquent audit from 21, 22. And not only does that audit need to be done, but the current audit, if it's not done by October 31st, which is a impossibility at this point. So we'd have to get both of those audits done for those funds to actually be released. We're still keeping in communication with them as the status of everything, but they actually have the release of those funds are contingent, among other things, on getting these audits complete. They're aware of that.
Joel Starr and the Gills.
Yeah,
not
no,
the- Oh, okay.
they're aware of it.
So if they're aware of it, then.
Yeah, they're the ones that informed me on that.
Okay, I'm good.
Becky, did you want to address the board?
I'm just listening mainly, just trying to get a sense on where we are with the audits and, what the status is on grants. I'm glad to hear CDBG grant. That is a little worrisome because they won't release those funds typically until those back audits are complete.
Yeah.
And so I would, have the town check in to see what the final deadline on that grant is, just to be sure. Hopefully, I'm sure McGill is working hand in glove with
Yes, they are.
DEQ.
Yeah, they're,
To get all those extensions put in place. Those are real important. I'll make sure they're in place. And then I was just here if there were any questions about anything that you could clarify.
any questions for Becky?
No, I think we're good. That's one question I had, the answer about the bank credit stuff.
All right, moving on, the next item on the agenda, I've got 3 bids to repair the Jim Luska tank. We got one bid for $97,133. We've got another bid for $88,250. And we've got another bid for $265,704.54.
Chad, have you had a chance to look at these?
I've looked at the
Do you
Carolina
want-
Energy
do you want
thing
to
that's
look at
under
them? I mean,
corruption.
I guess you guys can tell if they're all doing about the same thing, if their bids are,
Because I don't know that kind of.
So, and he's got, he's gonna sandblast it, coat interior tank. And he's correct. He's gonna prep prior to abrasive blasting in. Well, splatter shall be removed by power to the clean. Sharp projection should be around some corner here, almost without some here. Standard. Just gonna prep the surface. Gonna coat it, first coat's gonna be. did put another foot in there for this one unit paint too. We also put a list of recent jobs he's done.
Well, you had that word there,
Yeah.
Did they also think, Sean, that they could get to it pretty quick?
Well, it's hard to say because there's only certain temperatures they can paint in.
Right.
It might be the spring before, it depends on how long the warm weather lasts and everything.
This is just for the interior.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah, I thought that was all we focused on.
Well, the exterior is in really good shape too. It was in the, what is that report called?
I can't hear.
Sanitary survey.
Yeah, that's only for the interior. I know that exterior has been painted. It was painted in 06 or 07, the exterior was.
Yeah. I know it was on the sanitary survey report. She's wrote it up a couple times. I have it done as well. And I don't, as far as the scope of work, it's more his line of stuff. I don't know anything about it. The only thing I do know is this other one, this CNC one, it's really, really high. It's extremely high, considering, compared to these two. But this is for inside and outside, and this is just for inside.
See, I don't have that one, so I don't know what is it.
It's for the exterior work and interior work.
Well, then,
In apples to apples, in 88 and 97, so you
if that one's
11 more
getting,
thousand for the exterior as well, which I don't know what it would cost to do the exterior, and I'm sure he could probably give us something as well.
we want to table it
Yeah,
until we can get
yeah, we
that
better
to
get a bid for the exterior.
Okay. That
Okay,
way it's a whole
fire thing.
okay,
Fire.
all right.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll table that to the next.
Yeah.
All right.
Make a motion, we table Unilusky tank till November meeting to give everybody a chance to give fire estimates on all work proposed.
I second.
All right, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay. And number 4, I just want to see, we want to, the board have anybody in mind for the RTA board? Can you advertise that?
No.
Okay, are we going to advertise for the tourism?
I have to.
Yeah, okay. So that's when I just go ahead and advertise for them? Okay. All right, next up would be the comp time policy. Chad was wanting to talk about that.
Yes.
Basically, this runs right here. I was just wanting to maybe get some clarity or whatever on it, that way we can move forward. The comp time is, it's starting to really get up there with numbers, and I'll never be able to use the amount of comp time that we can. And so basically we put a cap on it the last time we spoke. We had a meeting, it was 80 hours. But once we reach that cap, you know, what has to happen, because there's no way I can just take off every time I work, because I'm always working on it, and I'll never be able to get ahead of it. So.
That has a lot of hours.
Oh yeah, I've got right now 400 hours, and I've got a couple of other guys. Let's see, they're starting to get up there too. I mean, Michael, he's already got 54.
He
And,
just started.
Chad, why is that, why is it happening?
Just the distribution system, just, you know, it's getting older and it's starting to wear out. There's leaks everywhere. And it's one of those things where you can never really plan for something like that. You can't expect the unexpected, basically. Kind of like with a budget. You don't know if you're going to go over or not. You just, you know, try to do a good guess on how you're going to do and fix the repairs, you know, the stuff before it tears up. But with our system going the way it is, it's deteriorating, and that's why we need the grant money for the replacement of the water lines and stuff. You know, and that's just one side. You got the wastewater side too. But yeah, I was hoping maybe, and I spoke with you about it, as far as the policy or whatever the county has as far as.
Well, it ain't really the county, it's just pretty much sheriff department.
Okay.
We can elect to hold up to 80 hours comp time, but if we pay overtime.
Can I make a switch on me?
Go ahead, Lamar.
On the comp time policy, me personally, I'm gonna take mine off, but, you know, I can take most of mine off. Would it not be better to give the employee the opportunity to either get overtime or take the comp time then as he can? He'll never use those out.
I thought we ended up, we made it to where that you build up to this point, and then you try to take that off, and then at the end of the year, we bring you back down and pay you for comp time.
It was never put on me. We have spoke about it, but I went back and looked at it. It said basically you're just allowed 80 hours. It didn't really have any clarity on what to do after that. But I was trying to go back and find the statute. It says if you reduce it from the 240, 280, or 480, necessarily you have to pay the overtime for that, or take it off. And that's kind of what I was getting at. There's no way I can take off every single time that I get the comp time.
Right.
I mean, I'm working over, you know, once or twice, maybe more than that a week. Not to mention some of the other guys as well, you know, depending on how big the project is.
Mr. Phillips, wouldn't law enforcement fall under a different
We
classification?
You would, but that's significant.
Yeah.
What time period is that for 400 hours?
Yeah.
A year?
Yeah.
It ain't even up yet.
See, I've
Fiscal year or
Yeah.
calendar?
Well, he was talking about the policy at the sheriff's department.
No, I'm asking
Yeah.
I think that's a calendar year.
calendar
Yeah.
year, pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
my thoughts were, with all the comp time we have, that's huge. Just say, for instance, an employee separates, you've got to pay that on the spot. If it was down to, you know, to the 80 or whatever we talked about, or at discretion, whatever, of the employee, it would look better, and it wouldn't be as high as an employee left, you know, whatever problem or, you know, situation may be. And I know
Well, I know I always wanted to try to do overtime. I don't want to get carried away with the overtime and stuff. Because after you get past 56 hours a week, then you're looking into double time. I think that's a state law too, is it not?
I've never had it.
Well, you-
And I think up to 56 hours a week, as long as there's documentation of the water leaks and all of that, any kind of extra stuff, then my philosophy was we needed to do overtime, but it never would go through. So we're looking at him with 400 hours, yet he's still earning annual and sick leave, and he's never using it. So either way you flip it and you look at it, you've still got to pay them. And why make somebody work 56 hours a week because they can't help it because the water lines break, and then they're only getting paid 40?
And I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot with that. Like you say, I'm accruing all this vacation time and the sick time, which I'm going to have to take that, but I'll never be able to use it. And I've had so much of that time roll over into sick leave, and I'll never see it unless, you know, until retirement or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, you know, I've got all this time, but
What do
for
you
what?
use it?
We gotta
Yeah,
do
what
it.
am I-
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, I would like to make a motion to table it until we can actually really look into it and get with our supervisors and make sure that they understand that they've got to help us with that too. And like I said, I just don't feel like it's right for them to work 40 hours a week. Plus that overtime is like in the middle of the night. And that's just my thoughts on it. So I'd like to table it until we can discuss it better.
Well, as far as 56, we've just done straight time and a half. I've never had double or anything like that ever. But
Second thing.
So maybe we can sit down and talk about it, okay?
Okay. Next up on the agenda is Coach Haney. One that the town would like to purchase based on the board. Look over that. Singles are $100 each and double boards are $200.
I'm gonna make a motion to do the double board for the $200.
Okay. Second. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, and number 8, Debbie wanted to address the board about decorating the town hall for homecoming.
Is it next Friday is the homecoming
Yes.
parade? They asked every business that was in town to show support for the teams and for the girls and just school spirit. I don't think we've ever done it before. I think we've hung a banner out here, but I think we need to support them. And I would like to make a motion to set a budget of $300. Do you think you can do it on 300? That, I mean, I don't know what you girls have got planned. I know Yen's kind of talked to me about it too. Is $300
I
sufficient
think that's
enough?
sufficient, yeah.
Okay.
It would, actually, it would be good, like, in Andrews, if you look, when you're driving by there, they decorate for like the holidays and all that. It's really
Plants
cute.
out, too.
Yeah, they put the plants out. I think it'd be good to do something.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, next up, John Colwell, you want to address the board?
Yep. I just wanted to give you all an update. We were asked to work with the county on a fitness center, on a task force. So these are plans that we drew up. I want to update you all on progress that we're making in that. So,
Where's this fitness center located?
well, the
Work still working on it?
fitness center, the task force is working on it. They've got 3 different locations. The locations that they've looked at, and from what I understand, they've settled on one location, but the location that they looked at was a green food store down across from Cafe de Ala. And then we gave them a site here on Main Street. We didn't give it to them, we proposed it. And then they also are looking at property that David Ortiz owns behind Papa's Pizza. And I think if they get that property, they've got to also get property from Jackie Ayers, get access back to it. So there's been a handful of people that work on the task force that have decided that that's the location that they want to go to. But from what I understand, there's still a lot of problems. And my thought is that, one of the things that Revved Up has been concentrating on since we started was the revitalization of the town. And if this location could be on North Main Street, I think it would go a long way to helping the situations in the town. And maybe replace, if they move the courthouse out of it, maybe give us more. Plus the museum is here, and the school wanted to open up its cafe in the old BMW building. We thought, and at first, Donna Stevens is the head of the task force, the health director. And at first she was very supportive because she thought it would do a lot to revitalize the town. So at any rate, they came up with a list of the things that they wanted in the building, and that was what I designed. We Revved Up embraced this wholeheartedly. We donated $1,000 to their startup fund, and we talked about doing a big fundraiser for them. And then we offered these 2 sites. Revved Up owns the property behind the stone facade, across from Phillips and Jordan. And then I own the old Blue Beacon. So I offered to sell the Blue Beacon to them at tax value, and we offered to, Revved Up offered to swap the property in exchange for some office space inside the new building. And so this was a building that we designed, and I told them, I don't care what site you choose, we're totally for this fitness center. And I would help either at a greatly reduced rate or free to provide them with plans for their fitness center. So this plan on Main Street would also allow us to save those stone facades. The Blue Beacon needs to be torn down. It's just in too bad a shape to try to save. But they could incorporate the stone facades on the front of the new building if they wanted to, and that's a decision that everybody in the county could make. That's not for us to decide. Anyway, we submitted this, and we were told that they decided to go with the Ortiz property. But yet at the same time, I don't know. From what I'm hearing, the foundations that fund things and the grant monies that are available are not available for the purchase of land. And so I don't know, there was only a small handful of people that made that decision on what site to go to. So, and we've had a lot of feedback from people that would rather see the town site. So, and if they have problems securing the site or whatever, I don't really know that much about that part of it. There's you asked about their next meeting. The next meeting is next week on Wednesday, the 11th at 2 o'clock. And you'd be welcome to go. I'm going to try to be there as well. So it seems to me like we should try to lobby for our location in town. It seems like, and if nothing else, it seems like everybody that's going to be using this facility should probably have input on where they'd like to see it. So anyway, that's what we've done. like I said, we're gonna plan a big fundraiser, and then we were told, well, we're just gonna put food trucks out for trunk or treat, and so that's what they're gonna do for a fundraiser. So I just want you all to be aware of what's been going on with that task force. I think it'd be a great thing for the county and for everybody in the town and everybody to have a fitness center. So that's where that stands. And I think really if we want to see a Main Street location, we need to lobby for it and get as many people as we can on board to see if we can make that happen. And then I have another thing that I wanted to talk to you about. We helped to secure funding to fix North Main Street, the retaining walls and the pavement. It's really a dangerous situation because there's holes that go back under Main Street, back 10 or 12 feet under the pavement on Main Street. And the trucks that go back and forth by here, logging trucks, the school buses with kids on them. We, Carl Gillespie and Kevin Corbin got us a $1.18 million grant to repair that. It's been over 2 years. Nothing's been done. Do you have an update on that?
No, that's in the hands of the Department of Transportation. I mean, you'll have to talk to them.
Well, I thought you were in charge of keeping up with that.
They've not given me any updates.
I've been told a couple times that the project was going to start months ago, and shouldn't we go back to them? Wouldn't it be a good idea to go back to them and ask them?
Yep.
The squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? So shouldn't we be pursuing that? So that's not anything, I never had any contact with DOT on it, and I thought you were like the liaison between the town and DOT.
Yeah, I mean, it's been turned over to them, the project has, but I'll reach out to them again.
Okay.
See what I can find out, but it was 1.1 million. That's what the funding was.
Okay, I had heard 1.18, but
No.
yeah, okay, 1.1, but that's still, I'm just concerned because this money has been available for 2 years.
Yeah.
And the road, if that road caves in, it's gonna be a huge liability.
That's,
And kids could be hurt, people could be hurt, and that's not a good situation. So that was my concern about that. And then the only other thing that we're concerned about is, or that I'd like, and this is more for me than anybody else, but what's the status of the Aldermen situation where there's been no one, that position has been vacant for what, 10 months now? 9 or 10 months? What is the status of that situation?
Well, we're currently in the process. We're gonna have to redo the interviews and have a vote, see who's going in there.
So is that something that's going to be published in the paper or announced some way? Or?
It will all be public knowledge, just proper form.
Okay, I had heard that there were like 15 applicants or something.
There was 11 applicants, a few of them dropped out before it even come to interviews.
Okay, well, hopefully that can move forward and whatever, if there's things that revved up or that I personally can do to help with anything that's going on, let me know. If revved up can do something, let us know. Okay. Appreciate your time.
All right, next up on the agenda, Debbie, we're going to have the personnel policy.
Our personnel policy had been looked into, and I don't have a copy of it in front of me, but I had spoke to the board and everything back in 2013. They made a motion and passed that they changed the personnel policy, and it never got put in the minutes, so I think we need to add it to the minutes now and retroactive it to 2013. So where is, I'm sorry, what name for this? On this one. Here it's sitting, no, that's the, help me out here. I'm lost on what you've got.
Which one are you looking for?
One where you hire your family, where that they made the motion to strike that from the personnel policy, and they took it and changed it to where that you could.
And I don't think it was ever.
Oh, it was wrote in, but there was no
It was never,
presentation of by what action and who voted on it and when it was, right?
yes.
There should have been something in the minutes to show that.
There should have been something in the minutes, but it never was. And they said that it needs to be retroactive to that time, so that it won't come back later on. So we just need to change our personnel policy and retroactive it back to that time.
Okay. Do something every day, or do something we got to type up, and
Well, I don't know where that came from. Well, I asked for the personnel policy and the mayor sent it to me, and that's what this is. I don't know when or who or what did that notation. So I don't know if there's anywhere in the minutes to support that, or if you need
She
to.
said that it wasn't in the minutes, but that,
So it wasn't in the minutes.
she said it should have been in the minutes.
Who
the-
did?
The secretary to the board.
Well, before you make something retroactive, you're gonna have to have some supporting documentation. Otherwise, you can just do it going forward.
Going forward.
Yeah. Unless she wants to notarize something to stick it in there, because if you're talking about, I don't even know when the date of that is. Well, it's got 2018, so who said that they did this?
The secretary to the board.
I was hired under that as well.
Do what?
I was hired, they changed the policy when I was hired in. My grandpa was working here, and I couldn't be hired until they did that.
We just didn't want to.
Well, you can make it, if she's willing to sign something to the effect that that's what happened on February 7th, 2018. But you've got to have some, I mean, I don't even know who wrote this in there. I mean, there's no notation. And this is the copy, the most recent copy that I got from the mayor, correct?
I think she would do that.
That would clean it up a little bit. And then we probably would need to insert, well, the whole policy is going back to 2013.
I may be wrong, it may be 2018.
That's,
I
that
thought they
was,
said 2013.
that's about comp time. That's about, check a different page.
That's overtime. Not really, I think I know what you're looking for. Is it, do you know where it is?
So maybe we should table that one too.
I think you probably need to update, and you're not unusual with other towns in the surrounding communities, update your policy, because I know Andrews is in the same boat, and according to my understanding of talking to the town attorney of Murphy, they haven't updated theirs either. So what we were gonna do is all three attorneys work to try to save the town some money and just get something that can generally work, and then we add add some specifics for Robbinsville is what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Well-
Table it. Get with her.
Yeah, because that's the only notation, and that's why I pulled that one up. That's the only notation handwritten in the policy.
Yeah.
Well, it's that.
It's okay.
And once again, you don't have a date, there's no initials, there's no signatures. Is that the one you're looking for?
Yes, that's it.
If she can add some specificity to that, and then when we update the policy, we would definitely do it then.
All right. So I'll make a motion to table that personnel policy until the next meeting.
All right, all in favor? Any opposed? All right, next up, David wanted to amend the agenda for the street behind David Hall's house.
Yes. Can I have a copy of those minutes?
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Disregard being a one meeting.
Where's the one for 2022?
This is mine.
I should have used the bigger thing where we keep it all in place. We'll put it in the line.
This is the one where that we're said and the attorney would get back to us. And then,
And this was the next meeting, the next time over. And that's the year and a half ago. This was all done in one meeting every
it's
year.
never been addressed.
Okay. I guess Ellen Davis was the attorney at this time in 2022. Did she ever get that?
No, sir. This is the same principle that Brother High's got.
Yep, that's
That
the first
request
time
was
we
made
had.
on a different section, voted on, passed, and closed on the same meeting, on the same day it all took place. And I'm a year and a half, and I've not got my section done. Which it's been done at one
And I've
time.
heard of this, but this
Yeah.
is the first I've seen of these done.
But this is an alley behind.
That's the other end of my street out on the end.
No, this is,
Taco down.
no, this is for, it comes from Morphew Street to
Go
behind
west.
Freeman Gas.
Yeah, right out.
Where you
before
used to
guys
live.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's section C. I'm on section B. Section A is this down here. But it's still an alleyway that was just gave back to the property
I
owner.
mean, whatever you want me to do, that's fine, I mean, but it's been taken.
Do you
I'd
need to
love
look
to have
into
it.
it more to be able to get
Well,
the
yeah,
correct wording and
I
everything?
think I need, do you have any kind of survey or?
No, this is the Snyder Circle
Oh,
Park.
that's
This,
the Snyder
this showing that the Snyder Circle Park that was in question of being able to trespass somebody from that. We went back to when the city was actually, the city signs, the street signs was actually put up. We didn't have, it was assumed to be a city street. It is not, it's public property. And this is a survey of all the properties showing the property lines going to the center of the road. And the owners owns each side of the road to the center of the road, so they own the road. It's not public, it's not a city property, in other words, it's still private property. And
Shannon,
that's the whole Snyder Circle.
if you, has the maintenance crew been maintaining this street?
The street behind,
Yeah.
yeah, they maintained it and the alleyway that, give back to, was it Morphew Street?
Yeah.
We maintained
See,
it,
all
we
that's been
maintained all
given
of
back.
them
Yeah.
up until it was given
But you're
back.
still maintaining the one behind his house?
The section
Yeah,
right
as
behind my
needed.
house, how long has it been? since you've been with the town, that anything was done to the section right behind my house?
I don't,
Exactly. I know they've worked back through their own sections when people drive through there that don't live back there, that don't own property, that they use it as a go-through place, and they pothole it out. So at some point, our elderly people that owns it can't do it, so at some point, somebody does do it. But it's the same issue, and it's been posted. The gentleman down there at the end is the one that put the signs up on each end. The town posted it at that time, this is not a through street, private property, it was gave back, just like that one that Mr. Hines owns.
So this is not town property, there's no town.
The town has an easement for a sewage owner.
Okay.
The main thing is sewage.
How about this, because, not to use the new kid on the block as
Yeah,
an
I
excuse,
understand.
but this is the first that I've seen this. I've heard
Okay.
tell
Yeah.
about you
Yeah.
and your situation, but I don't have any information, so I don't want to be
Okay.
sitting here doing.
It's the same thing as the one that was given back before I ever made my request. It's the same
Okay,
scenario with,
okay,
The city-
good.
the
So
city
you and I
got
will
one.
need to have a conversation.
Thank you.
All right. If you can write your name and just write your number down, I will call you this week.
These were all his.
Maybe so. And my only request is, I'm making the same request that was made on another town alleyway.
You just want it fixed like the.
I
other
don't
one
want to
was.
close it, I don't want nothing, I want to be able to say, hey, if you're causing me and my family problems, you need to leave. Leave the alleyway. And it was done on one meeting, it was opened, it was second, it was made a motion, it passed, and it was closed, same meeting. I'm a year and a half out, and nobody's told me nothing. And I'd like to have the same respect as the people on the other end of the alleyway got. I like to have my
What were
back.
the dates of those minutes?
That was
The first one you want to look at,
There was two.
on mine,
January
I got two.
6th, 2021.
These are mine.
I'm gonna give it back to you.
Okay.
The next one is April the 6th, 2022. And the next one is May the 4th, 2022.
Thank you.
But now this one, the first one, it's already been given back.
Yeah.
They made a motion and gave it back the same day.
And that affected you?
No, that's on the other end, but I mean, it's the same situation
It was
that I
the
had.
same thing.
And I waited a year and a half and I
Down
didn't
here
get mine back.
every day, but
Okay.
this is still.
Thank you, Mr. See you. See you.
Yeah, we'll table that, but our attorney have a.
Yeah.
Okay, and, please, okay. And, we also, so one more item, the contract with the attorney, do we need to go into close for that, or? Okay, all right.
Can I ask the council indulgence on one item that I overlooked?
Sure.
Okay. We approached the council 6 months or so ago. We've trying to put wayfinding signs up around the town. We have 7 locations that we need these signs. We've been waiting for an encroachment permit to finish that work. The state finally gave us an encroachment agreement, but they've only allowed for 5 of the locations. The council approved for the staff to send a letter back to DOT so that we could request the 2 additional locations. When I came to get that, of course, there's been so many personnel changes but the people that were here then said that they were told they weren't authorized to write that letter. And we need to go back to the DOT and request those 2 other locations so that we can finish these wayfinding signs. I haven't worried too much because of all the construction down here, but we'd like to have everything in place so that we can come in and do that and not be worried about those signs. And so I just wanted everybody to be aware of that and see if we can't get that letter to take to DOT and have those other 2 locations approved for the encroachment agreement.
Who does the letter need to come from?
Well, I was gonna ask the town, and then I've already asked Great, because Great funded that for us to give us a letter, and that's not a problem. But I thought I felt if I approached DOT and had a letter from the town and from the funder, that that would go a long ways towards getting them to approve the other 2 locations.
Does the mayor need to do that? Does the
I
financial?
don't know. When I came to the council, I asked if the staff could write a letter, and that was what was approved. And then when I came in for the letter, they said that they weren't authorized to write it, and they wouldn't write it. So I don't, and I don't even remember which one was here at that time.
What 2 locations are you referring to, John?
Well, we had, on the original map that we sent them, we had one at Freeman Gas at the end of Junaluska.
Yeah.
And they didn't allow that because they said there was no sidewalk there. Well, the sidewalk does go there, it just ends right there, and apparently they had, a couple feet of the sidewalk was put in with gravel. And so they disallowed that location. And then the other one was one that everybody agreed to have added, which was at Ninth Street, out on the bypass of Ninth Street.
Okay, you're talking about the corner of Ninth Street and the corner of the bypass?
Yep.
Okay.
And so those 2 locations, I just wanted those 2 locations added to the encroachment agreement so that we can finish the signs.
Okay. All right. Okay, John.
Yep.
All right, then. Okay.
And I apologize, I didn't keep up with my agenda.
All right. We're ready to go into close.
Is it like personnel or?
Yeah, the contract, or willing.
Contract. Make a motion pursuant to the
I
provision.
guess it'd be personnel, yeah, it'd be personnel, I guess. Yeah.
Make a motion that pursuant to the provision of North Carolina General Statute 143-318-11C, I move that the town of Robbinsville Town Council go into closed session for the purposes of considering personnel matters as defined allowed by the North Carolina General Statute 318-11A6 and North Carolina Statute 168-168.
Three. 3? Okay, all right. How does the board feel about the contract with Mr. Phillips, the attorney?
Make a motion to approve the contract.
I'll say.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right. And with no further business, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn this meeting of the town council.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? All right, adjourned at 3:04.